Wow, this coffee is delish.
It's not about It's not about you.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be trying to do a different segment, and I thought I would just add some coffee into the mix because I love coffee, so why not? Today's video, I thought I would do something different, and I keep saying that, I'm sorry guys, but I really want my channel to be a diverse channel. I don't want it to be strictly covers, even though I love music, and I don't want it to be strictly makeup, even though I love makeup too. I think today I'm gonna be taking some coffee and discussing some things that I believe are strong topics, and I think that need to be discussed and talked about. So if you are interested in what I have to say about singleness, keep watching and maybe grab a cup of coffee and let's sit down together and chat, right? So let's just dive right in, alright? By the title of this video, you can tell I'm going to be talking about singleness and relationships and why the two are very important for different reasons. First of all, I strongly believe that society puts this idea that we have to be in a relationship or have to have somebody to make us happy and fulfill that happiness. Don't get me wrong, I know it's different nowadays because everybody is so focused on chasing their dreams and focusing on what they are specifically wanting out of life, which is awesome. But I still think that with social media today, it is hard for anybody to completely get that happiness that they need during singleness and in relationships because there's always going to be outside sources. I have been struggling with, in the past especially, I've always struggled with being single because for some reason I put this idea in my mind that it's a bad thing, but in reality it's not. I think singleness has the potential to be such a positive thing. For example, I recently started going to a new church. I love this church. I love the people in it. I love how it's focused more on the younger adults, like the younger generation who maybe lost track of in touch with God, and I love that. However, even though these people are my age, sometimes it's hard for me to feel like a sense of belonging, just because even though these people are my age, they have a significant other, or they are married, or they are in a relationship, and difficult for me to be on the same level as them because I don't have those things, you know? So for a lot of the time, sometimes I go in there feeling defeated already. I feel out of place. I feel awkward. It's hard to get the motivation to keep going sometimes when you're always feeling like that. Now, those of you who are Christians like me, you know for a fact that this is just a ploy from the enemy to try to distract you from what your main mission and goal is and your purpose of what you're doing. And I completely recognize that from the very beginning. But one thing that still is hard for me though is learning to move past that and say it's not about you, and to know that you have a bigger and better purpose in life than to just be in a relationship. And I think a lot of girls especially identify with the fact that we have to have somebody who's gonna love you and to feel that love by somebody else, but in reality we are all human and we are all going to fail and we are all going to disappoint. It's been a challenge for me, I'll be honest. It's been, I think, about 4 years since my last relationship, which seems to be a long time, but I've been on dates and all that stuff, but clearly it hasn't gone anywhere because I'm still single. I think that there's a purpose and there's a reason for that. I know God is molding me into somebody who's able to become a bigger blessing in life than I could ever, imagine. I know there's someone specifically planned for me. Back to the whole social media thing though, I really feel it is so hard nowadays to fully get over somebody because of social media. Now, hear me out when I say this. I have struggled with this. I would not be saying this if I didn't. All of this stuff I have struggled with. I still struggle with it. I'll go more into detail in another video about what happened, but there was a guy in high school that I was head over heels in love with. I think this is the first time I publicly came out and said this because I'm very prideful sometimes and I won't come out and say any of this stuff, but when I say I was head over heels for this guy, I was head over heels for this guy. Like, I would have done anything for him. And I look back in the way he treated me and the way I allowed things to go down. It was not what I should have been doing. And I recognize that now because now when I say doing, I'm not talking about like physically or physically. I'm talking about I let him run all over me. I let him talk down to me. I let him do all of these things that I knew were wrong, but I didn't care, because when you're head over heels in love with somebody, it doesn't matter, you know, like when you are caught up in that emotion and that deep gratification of developing feelings and real feelings, like it is hard to pull yourself out of the situation and look from a third person perspective, because it is overwhelming. I tell you these stories because I want you to be aware that your past can really make or break you. Not in a bad way, but I mean, don't let it dictate where you are going in the future. You know, I do have to say, because of this relationship, like I said, I will post more maybe in a couple days or weeks about what happened in that relationship and give you the full rundown, but I just feel like that relationship has taught me a lot about myself and about what I deserve, and I feel like because of that, my standards have gone up tremendously, and I think that's part of the reason why I am still single. I don't want to settle anymore. I used to settle over and over and put up with him all the time. My feelings for him, I feel like because of that, I am not as vulnerable as I used to be, and because of that, I am a stronger person. Back to the whole singleness topic. People tend to think that being single means being lonely, and I do not 110% agree with this statement. It's hard sometimes, like I said, when I go to church or when I see anybody and I'm like, oh, it's hard to see people your age, like, being in a relationship, being in love, all this stuff, when you know you are not. But at the same time, I look at my life and I don't feel lonely. I feel very blessed because I have an amazing and supportive family. I have a best friend who is always there for me, and I have tons of other friends that will be there to support me. And I think that is the biggest issue with single people today. They think that being single means that you are lonely and that you need somebody, and you don't. If you have people who are there for you and you are genuinely happy with yourself, there's nothing wrong with being single. I feel like this was something that I needed to say, because a lot of people look at me, or when I go to family reunions or anything, they're just like, oh, any boy perspectives. Don't get me wrong, I get it. I would just as much like to see me be in a relationship as much as you, but at this moment in my life, I am okay with that. I still struggle with it every single day. But when I say I struggle with it, I mean sometimes it's hard. You're out with your friends or something and they're like, oh, let's go out, and then you're like the only single person there. It's hard. It really is hard. But you can't let that mentality get in your mind and tell you that you need somebody in order to fit in with people, and you don't. I think if you are surrounded by, like I said, by people who are genuinely there to support you in what you want out of life, I think that is the best kind of relationship you can have if you're not in a relationship, obviously. But 1 Corinthians 7:7 says that singleness is a gift from God, and that it can be used for God's purposes. And I strongly believe that now. I look back, and at first I didn't understand what that meant, but now that I see it from a different perspective versus a negative perspective, it has really opened my eyes to what God is really saying and what it really means that I can focus my energy on something positive versus always playing a negative part of being single. And I think because of this, I can inspire other people to do the same. I have not given up. I still pray every day. I still think that my person is out there. But until then, I'm just keep doing me. I'm gonna keep doing what God has called me to do, and I'm gonna keep enjoying my life, because ultimately life is way too short and we gotta keep going. So anyways, if you like this video, thank you so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you like these type of videos. This was hard for me to come out and talk about, so maybe I'll start doing more of these videos. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling vulnerable, so this is kind of weird, but anyways, thanks guys so much for watching. Keep smiling and see you later.